So I filmed that little scene of the breakfast stuff, that wonderful Eggs Benedict my wife made. And I had big plans for the day. I was really gonna spend a lot of time and, do a good old vlog today, but it's Labor Day. It's a day when you're supposed to rest, take a break from laboring. And being self-employed, my wife and I, we never take the long weekends that most people take. Now, granted, there is opportunity to take other days off, but for the most part, I definitely think, well, I know we work more than most people do. See, I got up at 4:45, got the vlog out there, got it done, and I thought, you know what, let's make a big breakfast. So we did that, and we had a day planned, even up to the point where we had our breakfast. We were like totally done by 9 o'clock, and we were just gonna go like, let's get it done. And then something happened in the way that I was feeling. I was just like, you know what? I kind of just want to take a long weekend. I haven't had a day job probably for about, I don't know, it's 5 or 6 years. And I want to feel a little bit normal. You know, everybody gets so excited for long weekends, like, woo, long weekend. And I'm like, woo, Monday I go to work. Not today. So we just decided to be lazy today and enjoy the day, like really lazy. I did get my workout in. After I did that, I laid on my floor and read a magazine for an hour while I cooled down. And then I had a really hot shower. I'm planning on having a really hot bath tonight. It feels like wintertime, and there's a certain sense where this time of year I often get this sensation where I just kind of want to cocoon, and I'm just like, Tonight it's supposed to get to, I don't know, the frost mark. So we've got some tomato plants, we need to cover them up. I'm just trying to see if I've got some tarps. Pool noodles, those were for a little experiment I was doing with a way to transport bikes without getting any scratches on the frames, which clearly didn't work. Still would really like to get this airplane engine fired up. It's a 25 horsepower 2-stroke boxer style engine, updraft carburetor, so this engine is sitting upside down. Got wheels for this little aircraft here. Essentially, we found some ultralight airplane parts, and my boys want to build an airplane so bad. We also got a propeller for this thing, so we've got like the hard to find components. Now we just need to start making the frame. Anyways, I was out here looking for tarps and I got distracted. I used to pride myself on my tarp collection. You guys see any tarps up there? No, I don't either. Well, I guess one is better than none. I do, however, just want to say thank you to everybody who watched the video yesterday. I do really appreciate the comments. You know, the one thing I think is truly a fact is that you will learn more from your YouTube audience than you could probably ever teach them. Some of the great comments I had yesterday were the fact that these screws that I was using to put in the bookshelves, to kind of go into the bookshelves, they weren't actually Phillips, but they were posi drive. And I had no clue what that meant, so I Googled it, and a posi drive is basically an improved version of a Phillips. That makes no sense to me. Why on earth would you try to improve on a terrible concept? So this was the Robertson screwdriver that I was using. The Robertson drive, it's a Canadian invention, and it's a square drive. If you buy a box of screws in Canada, it's most likely they're a number 2 Robertson. Number 2 is the most common size. Can you do this with a posi drive screw and bit? Like that. Now it doesn't hold it quite vertical. That's pretty impressive. Robertson. I honestly don't know why the rest of the world has not adopted that. Another interesting comment that I had about the Robertson Phillips screw little statement that I put in there is that a lot of these Phillips screws can be driven with a Robertson. And that is true for a lot, I would say about half the time I found that to be true. In this case, whatever IKEA gives you, I don't care if it's a posi drive or a wingle wangle drive, It doesn't work with the number 2 Robertson. Maybe it would work with the number 1. Let's see. Another interesting thing about Robertsons that people don't know is they're color coded. So a number 2 is a red Robertson. A number 1 is a green Robertson. It actually kind of does work. It's not like the screws that are actually meant to use a Robertson drive. I've seen those screws, I've used those screws, I like those screws. This is not one of those screws. Case in point, IKEA still uses the Phillips screwdriver. Doesn't matter what type of a Phillips it is, it sucks. Why can't they get their poop in a group and use a Robertson? And one other thing I'd like to clear up about the video from yesterday is the comments I had about the airsoft rifle. So the comment with my airsoft rifles, I think a lot of people think that I was being facetious saying that it's an airsoft rifle when really this was a real AR-15. It's an airsoft rifle. The other gun, this is my airsoft sniper. There's no BBs in there, but I really do think the very last thing I would ever do is show where I keep weapons, if I even had any weapons. You see, the internet is a funny thing. You know, our lack of human connection, the lack of the face-to-face. There's so many stupid comments that I get that happen, like people assume I'm a complete moron or a complete retard. I'm gonna just type something nasty towards them. But I always wonder if they would actually do that in real life. And I'm convinced the answer is no. This lack of physical connection, and it's an interesting parallel to what's going on in the world right now, where we're all covering up our masks. We are anonymous. I think we need to give each other a little bit more grace. I've got personal preferences, personal opinions, personal beliefs. So do you. And if you make videos on the internet and share what you like to do, and if I don't like that, I am not gonna say something nasty to you. I just think it's the right thing to do. I think it's the right thing for everyone to do. I guess a challenge that I'm posing to myself and you is to think of ways that you can show understanding to people on the internet. It's a crazy idea.